Yeah, just got my Jamieson's whiskey. There's plenty in stock, which is good. 700ml bottle, 44 bucks. The 1 litre bottle, the same stuff, they're charging 80. Work that out. You usually get a discount for a greater volume, but not in this case. You actually pay more if you go for a larger volume bottle. Crazy. And it's always been like that, Jamieson's. So I don't know what maybe they're just trying to catch people out. It's not a really good thing to do, though. Just people assume be better value getting a larger quantity. Not in this case. All the shopping done, which is good. Now I can head home and have a nice, relaxing Jamieson Scotch later on the show. About 5 o'clock I usually do start drinking around 5ish. Unless I've got a terrible desperate day, and I'll probably drink even earlier than that. But generally speaking, 5 o'clock. So, on the rocks. I like my Irish whiskey on the rocks. And I used to drink Glenfiddich, but gee, it's just gone up in price so much. I guess it's the British pound. We get better value against the Irish euro. So yeah, 44 bucks is quite reasonable. I have seen it a little cheaper than that. I think it's about 40 at Murphy's. But again, I don't have to worry about catching the bus and just walk up here. It's a first choice. It might be 42 actually. I think it's about the cost of a return bus fare anyway, so it's a muchness if you take that into account. Of course, if I get to the northern beaches, I'll be relying on buses. Although I guess I could possibly buy an electric tricycle, which would be pretty handy for getting groceries and stuff. The only trouble is if you get to the supermarket, how do you secure it there? It's difficult. I'm assuming the crime rate's a little better in the northern beaches than here, but who knows? It's certainly quieter. That would be greatly appreciated. It'd be nice to be able to walk down to the beach and listen to the ocean. It'd be very nice. But I don't know what's going to be available when I'm going to be in a position to buy one of these places. I think there'll be more places available from March onwards because it is more the selling season. The weather's a bit better. It all depends on lockdowns too, though. I mean, although I was talking to the guy I've chosen as the agent, Neil. He rang me today, and he said that he had people that have bought properties of about $750,000 worth sight unseen from Sydney. I guess by Sydney standards that's probably cheap. So they get a much bigger bang for their buck than they would back there. Like I say, the only reason you want to be in Sydney, I guess, is if you need to work, you need a decent paid job. There'd be a lot of opportunities there. But as far as you know, a retirement lifestyle, I think up here is pretty damn good. Helps if you have people you know around your support network. I don't really have much of that at this stage, so that's probably the only downside. In a way, I feel as much at home in Saigon as I do here, which is a bit strange. I know it may sound strange, but you know, I really do know the lay of the land over there, and of course the cost of living is so low, and people are pretty friendly, and yeah, there's plenty happening. Big city, it's good that way. Oh God, this is always the bane of my life, crossing this road. I will not miss it. So, with any luck, I'll have things finalised to finally get to the stage of having the property up for sale in the next week or two. and fingers crossed. Apparently takes about 5 weeks for settlements to go through, so I've got plenty of time to work out accommodation like Airbnb in the interim before I get my own place, and then I have to work out a storage situation, so that's going to be fun. So yeah, I think I'll be up for about 150 to 200 bucks a month for a decent sized storage, so can't be avoided. Well, it's quite a wet day, Friday in Cairns, and I was actually in a good mood yesterday because of the Adam had finished the painting. I thought the ceiling came up really well in my flat, but my mood has totally darkened today after having a chat with the real estate agent I was hoping to sell my flat. He'd actually sold another unit in my block, and he got a very good price for it, but he was quite negative about my place, and to such an extent that I don't know whether he's actually the right person to really represent me. I've got my doubts now. I signed a few forms, but apparently there's nothing binding there, just till dates are put in to pay for advertising and stuff like that, and if I don't give it the go ahead, well, if I don't give him a date, then nothing will happen. So that's what he told me. I hope that's true. I wish I hadn't signed anything now. But what I'm thinking of doing is maybe talking to some other agent, because he had this thing about the colour of the walls. He was really finicky about certain things. The kitchen certainly needs work. It's an old kitchen, but his estimate of what I'd get for my flat has dropped substantially, which is a bit of a worry. He said over the phone or emails are between 210 and 220, which I thought was reasonable. I was quite happy with that. But now he's saying more like 185 to 205, and I paid 205 for it, and I've done a little bit of work on the place, so I'll be pretty damn disappointed if I don't even get the money I spent on buying the place. So that's why I'm pretty down right now. And I don't know why he's got this thing. He had this thing about the colour of the walls. He said it's a yellow, off yellow. He says it looks old-fashioned, and you know, it might put people off, and he's just being very negative. I mean, honest in a way, which is good. Like he did say, you know, he suggests me things that I could do to fix up, to make the place, to get a higher price. But I'm just concerned that he's not. He thinks it's a bit of a crap hole, and I just don't know if he's going to represent it correctly. That's my major worry. I mean, I don't like real estate agents bullshitting me, but I also don't want them to be so negative about my place. I mean, you'd want there to be some enthusiasm to be able to pitch to buyers. Now I just don't know if this guy's going to be able to do that. So I've got my doubts, and I might even contact another agent. I feel a bit guilty because he's given me some advice, and he spent an hour with me, so you know, spent a bit of time, and he has texted me in the past. But I guess I'll just got to be honest with him and say, look, I'm just worried that you won't be pushing for me to get a decent price on this place, because I just found that the price range he came up with was way too low. Yeah. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what to do now. I mean, I'm pretty upset about it, because I was counting on getting around 200,000 as a conservative amount for the sale of the place, and I didn't think that was unreasonable. But like I said, he came with this range between 185 to 200, and he hadn't even seen my place. He wasn't impressed with what he saw anyway. So it was a real downer for me. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I am seriously considering looking at other agents, and I might just have to be honest with him and tell him, tell him a text and say, you know, I appreciate your time, but I just need someone's going to be a little more positive. It's a balancing act between being overly positive and realistic, I guess. Yeah, I've never actually had a capital loss on a place, any real estate I've bought in the past, but this could be the first time. I probably spent about $3 on fixing it. I've got insulation, got the tiles in the bedrooms. That was about 1.5, so maybe about 3.5. And I just got the paint job done. And I thought the place looked a lot better, but like I say, it was just a downer. He thought, oh, and I don't like the yellow paint on the walls. And oh God. So he might be a bit pedantic, this guy, because the person he sold it to, who's a mate of his, when he sold his unit, he said it was in pristine condition when it was presented. So a lot of pressure. Said I had to pay for cleaning and stuff, which I expected, I must admit. Also, I'd have to get smoke alarms put in, because apparently most people use building inspectors, and when they're buying a place, so they'll be on to that. He thought the cupboard doors was a good idea. So I mean, I agree with that, but my major concern is if the guy hasn't got his heart in selling my place, why would I want him representing me? It seems pretty basic, and that's how I'm feeling at the moment. So, and I think it's a fairly important thing, so I might have to text him and just sort of say, well look, I'm going to just check out other options, because I'm rather disappointed with that, with what you think is I'm going to get for the property. Mind you, he knows what the actual real amounts that people sell for is compared to what they're advertising. So, you know, he did make that point, and there is a lot of BS in the real estate market, so I don't want to be too harsh, but it is just a very strange. I've never had that with a real estate agent before, where I just felt like he made me feel like I'm living in a hole. It's not a nice feeling, I'll tell you. You know, he didn't say that in so many words, but he certainly was quite critical of the condition, I guess, which I didn't think was that bad. I probably underestimated how bad the bathroom, the kitchen was when I bought the place, because even the agent mentioned something to me about that, and she was right. But again, I've got crappy eyesight and stuff, and probably when I'm buying a place, it's probably best to have another set of eyes. I think it always is anyway, just to get another perspective. So I did actually have someone up there at that stage, and he did actually have a look at the place, and he thought it looked okay structurally and everything, and I mean, it turned out to be okay that way. I don't know, just very annoying. It's been a grind of a week, because the stock market's been down for a number of days now, and I bought what I think are cheap stocks, but it's a bit concerning when the downturn just continues on day after day. So, nothing like the GFC, but it's a little worrying anyway. Yeah, the GFC would have been a nightmare for investors. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever, and either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.